And as far as I might just grab some shots from here with my phone from here, but if you use Mike as your focus, not necessarily look to the phone, but use Mike even though he's looking at what he's doing. Okay, so how bad does that sound then? Maybe get a little bit
I
closer.
haven't really cans, have I? Maybe do like some profile. Whose drink's that?
Yeah, if we sit you here, how bad is that if you sit on there?
That'll be alright, you know. I'll have to, you know, that'll be
That's
alright.
alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's the nature of the beast, isn't it? That
Yeah, okay. Okay, so if you just start by telling us who you are and what you're about, what you do.
who first though? Sorry.
We're talking to Nin first.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so whenever you're ready. And don't worry, you know, just whatever you can give us is good.
Okay.
We'll try and have a conversation, basically.
Yeah. So, okay, so you edit films. What are you editing? What are you working on at the moment?
I'm working on was supposed to be a feature, but it's now turned into a long short. Kind of rather than taking a narrative approach to it, it's kind of a flashbacks and whenever something's mentioned, like there isn't really a narrative to it anymore, it's more of an argument, and whenever something's mentioned within that argument, it then goes back to kind of a flashback, like a memory, and there's some like footage of that happening. So that's how the narrative kind of works with that, and the whole argument is filmed, but because the whole thing is so static, I've been given, quite a creative license to kind of do what I want with it.
Pretty much allowed to do anything you want with it.
Yeah, just make it.
So this is a film you're working. This is your film.
Oh no, this is a film Ryan and Jackson directed.
And what's it called?
One Road.
Okay. So you're
Is that a Crash Arts one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was some complications, so some footage was lost, and there was some disagreements about things. So it's kind of, I've been given quite a lot of creative license with it.
So how did you get involved in editing?
I did film and drama at uni, and kind of I've always had a thing where if I think of something, I then want to make it into a film, but didn't really have any way of doing that. So the reason I got a Mac was so that I got iMovie, and did a lot of work with that. I'd got a tiny little HD camera. I would film nights out and like times when I was out with my friends at a couple of festivals, just in the crowd and shows and stuff. And I put that all together into like compilation. They were generally like 3 to 5 minutes long. And then Jackson told me about these guys making films. So I've done mainly promos so far, lots of compilation videos, and now hopefully getting more into narrative actual films rather than just things with clips chucked in here and there.
Okay, no, that's fine. It doesn't matter if we have. It doesn't matter if we have big breaks between what we're talking about. So I'm sort of interested because there's not that many. You mean lots of people are making films, nearly all of them are geezers. Mm-hmm. Do you know any other girls that are either directing or editing? Or?
I went to Braindance Film Festival Filmmaking Day. It was a 7-day thing, 7-hour thing, where there was a bit on filmmaking, like how to budget, how to meet people and stuff. That was really, really interesting. I met a lot of people that were filmmakers. I didn't meet any female editors, but a lot of them were writing scripts, and I met one female producer, but she was more into theatre.
Do you think why do you think that is? Do you think it's a technical thing? That, you know, that more girls don't sort of generally get hands on and grab a camera and.
I don't really know. I think there's like the stereotype that women want to be more on the screen and more creative, and they think, oh, if you're edited, you're told what to do and you just have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've found a lot of filmmakers, as in scriptwriters, and met one girl that, I mean, there was 300 people there, and I spoke to a good majority of them, but most of them were more creative and trying to come up with ideas and stuff rather than post-production.
But you could be creative in editing.
Yeah, I think,
yeah.
oh yeah, definitely, yeah. But I think unless you're unless you know about it, and you've spoken to people and speak about experiences and things, they think you're literally just cutting it, like you're being told what to do and you're just the one doing it.
So you don't think that that it's that technical barrier that puts, I mean, that may put a lot of people off editing anyway?
No, I think like with anything, you just have to learn and you have to work at it to get to know it. I mean,
But do you think that puts people off? Like a lot of girls, do you think that would put people off? You know, because it's sort of a lot of time sitting on your own in a room with a computer.
You've got to enjoy your own company a lot of the time.
Do you enjoy your own company?
Yeah, I think I'm great. I'm very entertaining. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like it can be, there is so much time spent alone, and even though you've got that connection with the editor, with the director, and people that have filmed it, you do have to, like you say, spend a lot of time alone. You do have to think on your feet, and there is times where I've done stuff and I think, right, I like that. Is anyone else going to like it? Sent it to Sam and he's like, no. It's just like you've not gone down the wrong track, but you can tell you've lost the idea of where that's come from. I've kind of taken it in my own direction. Whereas like if I were to make a film myself, I have complete control over it. If I'd like written it, I'd hate filming, so I'd get someone else to film it. But then that would be a way to do it all creatively myself. But you do have to keep in mind, like, this is someone else's vision. I've got this footage, but like.
Pain in the butt though, having someone directly edit.
Yeah, but when there isn't someone directing the editing as well, it's kind of like, what am I doing? Sometimes, but then it's just thinking and trying to get around the fact that there does need to be something done with it. Like, there's been times I've made something not with anyone else's stuff, but I've made I did my own little promo for a festival a couple of years ago, and I did 3 different versions, just because I had that much footage, and I was like, right, I'll do it this way, and I'll do it that way, and I'll do it that way, and I have got quite a creative mind. Like I said, I did film and drama, and it's just kind of focusing down on what it actually needs to be, rather than just playing around with it.
Okay. I'm curious to know, because when I spoke to the other guys in Trash Arts, they're all doing a multitude of things, like writing, directing. None of them said they're editing.
Mm.
But are you writing? Do you have designs to do your own? You said you started off doing your own thing.
Yeah, that was literally just filming and taking what I had and putting it all together. That wasn't anything narrative. Like, there was no story within it. But since going to the Rain Dance film thing, I have thought about I've got all these ideas. I've just never had the patience to sit down and go through it and then rewrite it. But yeah, I think I will at some point attempt to write something.
I'd also say that, editing, knowing what you're doing. I mean, one reason I think that, I don't know Sam very well, but I know that Mike's been editing some stuff for him. But I'd say that if you learn editing, that puts you in a little bit of a power position, as in doing your own, that's a big advantage for you in order to go forward and make your own stuff, because a lot of people make things and then they're scrabbling around to find someone to edit it.
Yeah, and then it gets, if you are doing it yourself and you don't know how to do it, it ends up badly edited. And I don't really know anything about sound editing yet, so I really want to get into it because I'd love to be able to do all that. But it's kind of it's kind of like, that's the thing, I will hopefully eventually get there. But yeah, if I did write something and had it filmed, I would want to edit it myself. Like, I wouldn't, not that I wouldn't trust someone else, but I know how I'd want it to look, so I wouldn't want someone else to then go in and a bit of a power trip, I suppose.
So just where do you see yourself in, say, 10 years?
I don't know. I'm not doing it. Obviously, it's all low, no budget filmmaking. I don't see myself being on the big screen. Like, whenever I tell people I want to be a film editor, they're like, "Oh, so we'll wait till the end of the credits and look for your name." I'm like, yeah, sure. But I do it because I like doing it. I don't see the point in I want to hopefully make a living out of it, but not necessarily do amazingly well. Just I want to do something that I enjoy, rather than having it on the side, just doing it in my spare time, and then when it's taking up all my time, I don't enjoy it anymore. I'm just doing it because I have to. But I would, hopefully I'll be doing it for some money and something that other people enjoy as well, not just like a bit of an ego boost. Like, oh yeah, that looks good, wicked. If no one else likes it, then that's not great
So,
in my opinion.
I think what I'm asking is, I'll try and be fairly concise because I asked this before and I'm not going off on one. But do you see this as something you're doing that is going to help you maybe get into working in sort of bigger budget films, or do you just see it as something that's good fun to do? And you may end up doing something else, either in film or something completely different.
I do definitely want to work in film, like I have done for quite a few years now, and I'd like to maybe in the next few years shadow an editor and just see how they work, see the relationships that they have with all the different crew, and hopefully, if I get if people like what I do and they pick me up and pay me millions of pounds to do it, that would be awesome. But that's not my main prerogative. It's just to do it because I just want to carry on doing it, and I don't want to get to a stage where I don't enjoy doing it anymore because I've made it a chore for myself. I want to try different kinds of things, like not always the same kinds of films, but like dip into different genres and dip into like I say, if it gets big then great. If not, as long as I'm still doing it and I'm still enjoying it, then hopefully that would be fun.
And you're working together on stuff?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, I mean...
In the same group of people.
Yeah, but
so what projects are you working on together?
Just One Road.
I guess One Road, wasn't it, really?
Pretty much. I mean, you do some of the films for the promos that I do, don't you?
Yeah. So, apart from that, nothing narrative, apart from One Road.
No, not yet.
Where do you see yourself going in 10 years then, Tom?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully, well, I know where I want to be in
That's
life.
right, that's right. Someone's just using the tab, wait for you to finish.
Sorry. It's alright. It's a bit more directional than the
Health and
4S.
safety.
Then that's
It's a bit more forward. Oh, yeah, it'll still pick that up.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course, the mic's in the front, yeah.
I guess the main thing for me is being able to just be creative, hopefully get a wage from it. That's the ideal scenario, enough to be sufficient. But I never want to work in Hollywood or anything like that. More just as long as I get to do what I think is interesting and
So
whatever I want to discuss at the time.
when I asked those guys earlier on, they said that they prefer to be involved in a bigger budget, even if they were a caterer. But that doesn't apply to you. You want to have some creative control over it.
No, it's I'll go on any film set because I think that's the best way to learn. Even if you're working with people, I guess might be below your skills at that time, you're still going to learn stuff from them.
But ultimately, that's only just to see how other people work and bring it back to your own thing. It sounds like to you.
Yeah, but there is also the thing of if you are on a project, is an amazing project. You feel like you're part of something bigger than what you could have done alone. So there's that great aspect to it where you can't get that feeling very often from most situations. So it's quite, that's the sort of mindset and feeling you're going to have from that, is particularly because you work with that many people with that different skill sets. So working on other people's sets is fine, even if it is running. You're still going to learn an awful lot.
So, just to both of you, is it possible to get them both on the cam?
Yeah.
So, just want to ask you about the scene here then. How can you? So you're both in Portsmouth. Is that just because you were born here and you haven't moved to LA yet, or is what? There is a bit of a scene here. So, tell us about it.
I'm originally from South East London, and I came to uni here, graduated last summer, and then because I knew that I would have stuff to edit and I stayed here, it was originally just stay here for a year, and it kind of still is. Like, I'll probably be gone in the summer, but just to stay here, get some experience, and then go back to London and have something to show, rather than I know so many people have come out of one of the guys I lived with did TV and film production, and he's made his showroom a couple of weeks ago. He's got so much great stuff, but it's all come out of his degree. So he's been here for like 2 years ago or 3 years, whatever. He's done it because he has to, because he's been told to do it by the uni, he's been given deadlines, he's been given stuff to do. Whereas I think if I go out and I've struggled living down here, like to pay rent and bills and all of that, I've gone out of my way to do
Right,
it.
to can it, sorry.
Maybe we can close the door for a bit. Maybe I can ask him just for a few minutes.
Yeah. Sorry. I probably won't even notice if you close it, Clive. Oh, that's much better. That's funny something.
Sorry. Yeah. Whereabouts in South London?
Southeast, just Bromley.
Bromley,
Kind of
Bromley
borderline.
massive.
Yeah, borderline London and Kent.
So is there much going on up there? Do you know
Not
of?
that I'm aware of at all.
No.
Like, really nothing that I've seen. I mean, I know the Bromley Arts Council are trying to get stuff up, but I don't know if filmmaking's in with that at all.
So do you think, say for instance, I mean, Sam seems to be quite, I don't really know him that well, but it seems to be quite, someone like Sam, who seems to be driving whatever's going on, he seems to be at the centre of most of the things that are going on. I mean, that's different, say you said about Bromley Arts Council, but do you think it's more important to have someone who's really enthusiastic, who's just totally independent and...
I think it does drive everyone else. It's like, oh well, someone's actually got a bit of faith in it, rather than loads of different people trying to do something and everyone being like, oh yeah, we can do this and then it might work. Like, he's got so much faith in it all. It is, it's uplifting, it is.
So his
It's
enthusiasm is...
Yeah, it's good. Like, so many ideas coming out all the time. It's like, I mean, even earlier with the meeting, it was like, we've got this idea, this is happening, this
Yeah.
isn't happening.
And you believe that it's going to happen, because it can happen, there's
Yeah.
nothing stopping you.
Like, I've always said, like, when people are like, oh yeah, you did film drama, you'll be an actress. No. Oh, you want to be a film editor? Oh yeah, good luck, it's such a hard industry.
Yeah.
But someone's got to do it. Why can't it be me? Why can't it be Tom? Why can't it be you guys?
This is what I was trying to say to those other guys earlier on, is because there seems to be a difference. The old model was, and lots of people have always thought, okay, we've got an idea for a film, we'll write a proposal, we'll try and get some funding. Even now, but lots of people say, oh, we'll make it if we can get 30 grand from what's those sites where you know the crowdfunding and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And there is an argument for saying, well, you know, okay, we haven't got the greatest camera in the world, but we've got this, we've got stuff to make it. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
Let's just get it done, because it may be that it may not come out like amazing. You know, there may be some faults with it, but maybe we can say to someone, well, if you like it, you can remake it, or you can give us some money to, rather than doing all that work and then just not really getting the funding for it and going, oh yeah, we didn't really get the funding for it, we can't really make it without 30 grand.
It's like blaming that rather than getting off your ass.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm definitely of the, since I've met Mike, I'm definitely of the school of, let's just make it, see what happens, just get it going, let's get it done, move on. You know, maybe it won't be great, but we'll get the experience out of it and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well do it. If you've got the idea, nothing's going to come of it sitting in your head or sitting on hours of footage. Like, then go and do it, make it, and then show it to someone. If they don't like it, show it to someone else.
So with that in mind, because when I spoke to Riyadh and Dan, they're very, you know, they've got a slightly different take on it, where they want everything to be totally perfect. That's what they're aiming for.
But I think you can make stuff perfect without the money. Like, yeah, you're gonna have better equipment, or you're gonna have better cast or better post production. But it's not. But there are films that come up that are made on nothing, and but I've come to realise that nothing usually means about 15 grand, but it can literally be nothing.
Yeah, it can literally be nothing. Yeah.
And if that's what's holding you back is the money. It's like, well, try a little bit harder.
So would you say that it's kind of easier to make stuff in that way outside of London, just because it is generally easier to live without like high living costs than it is in town? You think that's it?
I think the thing in London is that a lot of people in London are getting funded, So if you then look at them, you're like, oh shit, they've got money, I don't. Their film's going to be better than mine. I give up now. Whereas down here, there isn't a lot of money going into it. Everyone's making it on nothing to maybe a little bit. So it's kind of, you get the mentality of like they're making it for nothing, I can make it for nothing, and it's got an even kind of thing you're going out with.
Do you see the two scenes as totally connected, or do you see them as disconnected? You know, like the film industry, which centres around London in this country, and then anyone who's making stuff on no money outside of that. Do you see them as two separate things, or do you think they're...
Yeah, I mean, well, one of the things is growing up in Portsmouth, anybody that's living in Portsmouth knows, yeah, you're not going to get an awful lot. You literally have what's here, and that isn't an awful lot. So when it comes to filmmaking, you're in a totally different world to anybody that's got a budget. And that's where I think, particularly with scenes like Portsmouth, instead of abandoning it and going off to wherever, Brighton or wherever, to try and stand out and make your film, getting more people involved, getting more people enthused about it, getting people excited about it, then it's more about the team you've got than the budget. So they're definitely disconnected. Nowhere near the same.
So there's like, so there is such thing as a no budget, because we're not talking about, it's like you were talking about low budget. I'm not trying to put words into your mouth here. It's something that I kind of think that exists, a separation between low budget films and like no budget films. There's a kind of scene, because we know of other people in different places as well as here, where people are just getting on and doing it and they're making it. And they're not really people who are working, they're people with day jobs or whatever, but they're not people who are working in like the film industry that on the weekends are making, you know, sometimes you get a crossover where someone's making something and then they might get a DOP who actually does work on other projects as helping them out. But there are people that are working, and then they're basically, you would call them, traditionally you call them amateur filmmakers, only because they might not be amateur, but just they have no connection with the actual film industry. They're not getting paid to do what they do, but they have a serious passion for it. So you'd say that there is a bit of a scene. Do you know people in other towns that do the same thing?
It's bizarre because filmmaking's an art form as well. So like doing it on zero budget and everything is great because you might be able to make a great film, or you might be able to find some amazing filmmakers, but chances are you're probably just going to see them at a little independent festival once and then totally forget their name after you've seen their film, unless it's something really special. And even if it is, Hollywood's not knocking on the door, so it becomes even more difficult to stand out in filmmaking now because it's so easy to buy a DSLR. It's so easy to talk to a few people and say, do you want to make a film? And then it's so easy to send that to a festival where you could put your heart and soul into a short film, but their film's there as well. I'm not saying that's wrong, I'm just saying it's so easy, so it becomes even harder to stand out to get attention, because not an awful people, a lot of people are going to watch.
Basically, it's more like everyone wants you to see, everyone's saying to you, have a look at my short film, or have a look at my short film. You're saying to them, check out our film, they're saying to you, no, check out our film.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess that is one of the only steps you can go on, but...
So how do you bust through that? You know, because there is so many people making this, how do you break through? Do you think that if, you know, regardless of budget, even if you made it on like a little handy cam or a phone, that you made something that was... is it that you haven't yet made something which is that good? You think if you made something which is undeniably good, it'll grow by its own accord, or do you think that are you quite cynical when you think that it's basically the money men that control the films that have the marketing?
I don't know. See, it's a romantic idea to think that you could make something that good and it stands out because it's that good. But then, I mean, if you look at people like Riyadh, who's put, I guess, not considered a lot of money to other filmmakers into something like Hannah, and the quality it is, and I mean he's getting huge buzz and everything, and he's standing out. So it's a very strange one. But that's the good thing, because it's becoming more of a community film now, and more people are believing in filmmaking. And even if it is a bit selfish to think, do you know what, I'm going to be bigger than all this, blah blah. As long as you're part of that community and you're helping out with each other, you've got more chance by, again, another romantic idea of standing together than fighting isolated. So it's a very strange scene at the moment.
But see, one thing I think that you lot have got, which is awesome, I like the idea that you say community film, is if you speak to someone like Mike, who's made films out since he was like, I don't know, maybe 13, 14, he always done, there was never anyone to connect with. And you've got to remember, like, with old Giz, like, so before the internet even, like, he was making films and didn't even know if anyone out there was making films. He didn't have anyone to show them to, apart from maybe friends and stuff. What you've got going on here that I haven't seen elsewhere is the fact that you have got more than 3 or 4 people. There seems to be like a whole bunch for you, and that community film thing you're talking about is brilliant, where everyone is helping each other out.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing different jobs. So if you're making something more, you know, you seem to have a lot of people doing crossover. I'm not sure what the question is from that, but.
Well, we've got another half hour, as in
No, you get what I'm saying though. Like so you didn't really have any. You know, you were making stuff. There was no one to show it to, was there?
Yeah, I mean, basically. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, there was like magazines you could buy, and you could. But again, it was sort
It's
of
all London-centric.
it was semi-professional guys.
Yeah.
You know, I'm running out of battery now.
Yeah.